Okay, so I'm just sharing one link, which is by official Flutter. Is my voice still breaking?
Sir, it is clear.
Okay. So meanwhile, everyone joins. I request everyone to watch this video. This is about a normal builder widget. So once you watch it, let me know, and then I will give you a bit of understanding. If you still didn't get it, this is just a 1 minute video. I mean 1.5 minutes. Hello. So have you watched this video? The link which I shared in the chat?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now tell me that what exactly the difference that you have something in mind, and now after watching this video, does it get clear, or like you still might help to understand, or like do you want me to change some understanding here? Hello.
A quick summary would be appreciated, sir.
Okay, Monali ma'am, does your concept been revised?
Yeah, refined. Thank you.
Okay, so a quick summary is the builder widget will help you to give the context. Hold on, let me just share my screen and give you more visibility what I am trying to say here. Let me know once my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible, right? Okay, so I guess in one of our demo where we are using like this snack bar. Let me just search snack bar where we use. Okay, here. So in like one of our demo, we have used the snack bar, like scaffold.off.snack bar. So here, what it was happening earlier in the older code, that when we call a context, it requires a particular context, but these elevated button doesn't have any context here. So to get the context, what he will do, he will actually go and go up in the parent widget and ask for. Earlier in the older stuff in the Flutter, there was the another button called raise button, not the elevated button, and it was creating some issue. But now they have updated it, so that's why we don't require to wrap into a builder widget. Otherwise, earlier what happened when we do this kind of thing, elevated button on the stuff, we require to build it into the builder widget because we want a context, and when we need a context, we need a particular screen context over here. So we require the context of this scaffold, this, but now it is already available, so we are not building in with the builder widget. But if in some case we have created some the partial widgets like here, hold on, let me just increase the font size. Okay, so for example in our in API demo, for example, in widgets over here, we need something, we want to do something over here, and we don't have a context. For example, we are just passing some other thing, or maybe I'm just writing like a method get cool widget, and here I am returning container, and in container I have child, in child I have elevated button, for example, elevated button. New button. And now if I want to do something here, for example, navigator, if I want to on click of this, I want to go to somewhere else. So navigator dot push. But now I need context. So how I get the context? Because this is just a method, and from method I can't get a particular context. So here in that case, I can wrap it with the builder widget, like wrap with the builder widget. As soon as I'll wrap it, I'll get the context. So this button, rather than getting inserted into the as a method, it will be inserted into the widget tree. Now, why I'm taking this session, why I'm mainly focusing on it, because this is a very important part of the Flutter and Flutter state management. Are everyone here? Shall we start? It is already 10:15, 16.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, perfect. So, okay, let me just give you an example of what exactly the widget tree is. So widget Flutter widget tree. Okay, I guess this will be more easy. Yeah. Is the image is visible?
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. So whenever we write any widget in Flutter, the whole application, I mean, as soon as we add the widget, it creates a tree and it will add as the another node. So like in our counter application, which is like, the default application, here we can see we have my app. In the app, we have material app. In material app, we have kind of homepage. In homepage, we have scaffold. Scaffold, we have app bar, then body, and then floating action button. In the body, we have center. In center, we have column. Column has text this. You have pushed the button this many times. And then another text which shows the number. Again, in the app bar, we have text, and in the floating button, we have icon. So that's how the whole widget tree is been used. Now, if I want to see the same widget tree in my app, how, let me just show you how we can see it. So if I run this application, let me just comment this code and I'll show you. So how the widget tree exactly look like and how it is, been most important thing in the Flutter to understand. Once you understand this concept, to manage the state will be easy. Whether you do it with the block, whether you will do it with the provider, or whether you will do with the Mobex or like any other library, or like simply state. So that you know that where exactly your data is getting muted and where you want to use that muted data. Now here we have example of our API, which is this code, this API demo, where we have scaffold and the stuff. So let's see how the widget tree looks like. So I have a button here called DevTools. I'm clicking on it, and here I can see a widget inspector. So this is actually a widget tree. So see, we have my first app, then material app. In material app, we have API demo. If I go to my main file, we have my first app, material app, and then API demo. Now in API demo, we have scaffold. Here we can see we have scaffold like this. Now in scaffold, we have column and app bar. Yes, we have that. In app bar, we have text. API demo. Yes, it looks good. In body, we have column. In column, we have row. So column. In column, we have size box. This is size box. This is row. This is row. If I shrink the row, it is divider and then expanded. Is then expanded. Now the problem over here is now I want to add a button, but where in this item? So first let's just go to the item. So I'll go to expanded here, and here I can see there is a list style. And sorry, we have added this in the label widget. So our label widget is here in the row, and in the label widget we can see we have column and two text. Okay, because this is the column and two text with the expanded. If I go here, we have this. Now, if I want to add this button without the builder widget, so I'm just simply removing this. So I have simply a button and I will add get cool widgets in the column here. Okay. And let me just refresh this thing, this whole thing. So for that, I'll simply restart the app. So we will have our new UI. Still okay, refresh. So now you can see we have a container, elevated button and text here. But now if I need a context here, on click of a button, I want to show something. Here I want to show like that snake bar, scaffold, messenger dot off, show snake bar, content as widget, okay, text, button pressed. And here is the const. So now the problem is I don't have a context. How I can add the context? So there is two ways I can add the context here. First, I can pass this context in the parameter here. So I can do like build context and context. And here I can pass context and the same context will be get used here. I'll simply save it and refresh it. So this is the same. Now if I click on it, I can see. But what if I don't want to do it and I want my own context for this particular thing? I can wrap my elevated button into the builder method, which gives me another context. I'll simply rebuild it. It will create a whole widget with this context. And if I press it, I get the same thing again and again. Hold on, let me just rebuild it for you. So here you can see after adding a builder, I have another widget called builder widget. And then it has been added as in the inside of it. I click on it. I can get this scaffold of the context. So that's why the builder widget is bit required and to understand. Now, what if I want to add some data from this widget? I mean, this widget to, so I have like this widget called label widget. Now from label widget, I want to do some changes inside this thing, inside this expanded. So how I can do it? Because my label widget is here in another file. And this is the another screen, which is this. Sorry, API demo, my mistake here. Now, when any button get clicked, I just want those data, like not the total confirmed. I need data of cured, I need data of death, and I need the data of total cases from the particular month wise. So how I can do that? First, let me just change here to location to lock because we are not getting the data here. Now we will able to see, yes, data. Okay, so right now we are showing the total confirmed cases here. In the list style, we can see we have total confirmed cases. But rather than that, what we want to show is we want to show a total confirmed cases, a cured means discharged, and then deaths. Depends on what we select from this button. So I guess yesterday you have seen or have an idea that how we can manage the widget, like the state of this particular app using the block. So rather than going into the block or any other complex functionality, can someone simply help me like with the understanding of basic engineering or basic programming stuff, how actually we can, you implement this thing? Like clicking of any button, like show cases, show cure, and show deaths. Let me just add that parameter as well in the label widget. So here we have key title value, and here I will add another final string button label. This button label we will pass here button label, and here string button label and button label. Okay, and now we will this dot button label equal to blank. So by default, the value of a button will be blank. Now we will pass from here that this is the value. Show total, show cured, and show deaths. Now clicking on each of it, it should be, the data should get updated over here. Tell me what we need to do here. Let me just first remove this thing. And now container is also not required. I'm just simply removing this unnecessary content. Okay, anyone? How programmatically it should be done? What is the best way? If you don't know, let me just revisit the whole application. Here, what we are doing, as soon as our application will get started, we are calling a method called fetch data. Fetch data, fetching the data and putting in some respective variables. The variables are summary and a regional. And from that, we are showing this list view and this data. Now, what I want here is, by default, it should show the all data, the total confirmed cases. If I press on show cured button, this data, this number should be shown from the cured variable. And when I press the show death, it should show the data from the death variables of this regional. So how we can do this? Anyone want to just give it a try? Any random thoughts?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, while building the list view, we can simply check for the button label that we are passing through constructor, and based on that case, we can only show the required value.
But I want to change the data when user press that button, because I have already passed.
Click event of button.
Okay, on click event of button, what we can do, because that click event is inside the label widget. The click event is here. This is the click event. Now, and I want to change the data here. Okay, so let's just first clear the basics. To change any data on the screen, what we want to do is, first we want to call the set state. Right? So we, and also like we are passing here data in the list style. This is the total confirmed cases, correct? But what we want is, okay, so we have three options here. So first, let's just create a basic array, string, not string, I mean list of string. Okay, available options, and we have available options is equal to total, cured, and death. Okay, and by default we are showing total. So let's just create a one method. So here, rather than returning this, whatever is been selected, we will return that kind of data. So what we required is, we required a particular regional and it will return a particular number. So for that, we will create a method like integer get numbers according to selection. Now the selection will be the string, selected option, and here we will return integer number, right? So what we will do here is, we will simply put switch case, switch selected option. Okay, now if selected option is total, we will return something else. If cured, something else, else we will return 0. So here we need another thing apart from the selected option. We need a regional data as well. So we required regional, I mean, yes, regional, and from the regional we will show total confirmed if it is the total. If cured, then we will show regional of discharge, else we will show deaths. And now we will add this method in the list style. So we have this list style, total confirmed, or else we can actually, share the whole string here rather than doing this. We can actually pass the whole string here. So let's just do this. Rather than integer, let's return string. And here we can pass like total. Hold on. Let me just return first string. And total confirmed colon, and I'll put everything into the dollar curly bracket like this. And the same thing I'll do for here for the cured, like return total cured dollar same thing with the death, return total deaths dollar symbol, and here no data available. Now by default option should be total. So here I will mark it as in the optional parameter. And here in the optional, I need regional as a compulsory. So I will put regional as a required. And by default, the selected option will be no, we want this as a required as well. The reason why I'm putting as the compulsory is because this particular this option will be get selected. So we will be having another variable string selected option, and by default it should be total. So what we will do over here inside this, get numbers according to this. Now to get the region, we will have a data from the item count, which is regional of I. So regional of I. Why it is not throwing? So regional can be an, sorry, not I, here we have index. Okay, so regional of index. Okay, so we are saying we will be having compulsory data, and selected option is the selected option, because now by default we have the total. So here we can see we have now total. But if I want to change it from total to cured, what I need to do is I simply need to change this variable from total to cured. As soon as do changes, and I'll rebuild it. I'll get the cure data. And if I want to show the deaths, I'll click DEATS death. And I'll again rebuild it. We can see we have the death of data. Now, but I want this thing to be done on click of a button, not like, I change this variable. So now things are a bit simple. When I click this particular button, this particular variable should get changed and the set state should get called, correct? Now this is simple. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we just want to change this variable and want to do a set state. So let's just do it. So now to get that click event on this screen, we have another option. We can see we have 3 buttons here, the label widget, and inside that there is a button. Can we get a callback from that method? Like from the child, we can get the callback from the parent, right? So that, we have something called a button press. For example, if we get a button press and we have something called value here, string value here. And here we can do like set state selected option is equal to value. Can we do this? So as soon as this button, the show total will get pressed, we get the value here as the total. We will set this value and the set state will call then the screen will get rebuilt and we have the data. Does it make sense here? Can we do this way? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's just do this. So this button press so I'm creating here another variable final function. Here we are passing string value and here I'll write on pressed. So we will be having this dot on pressed. Okay, and this is kind of the required stuff. So this is compulsory. Now here we'll do on press and value. Now what value we will pass? So better the one thing that I came to know from you is like from the label. So whatever the label will come, we'll pass that label here. Now we will pass button label. And let's see what happens. So here button press, it should be like on pressed because now we have changed the value and we will simply copy paste this in every button widget. Now let's just see what exactly the value we are getting, because I guess our selected options and this thing are both different. So I rebuild it and I can see a value here is the total, show total. But what we want is we want only total. And we can see that this show is very common in everything, in every button. So we can actually remove this show from here. We can compare this title with this total cure death, total cure death. Okay, and also we can remove these cases and we can use what's the variable name, available options. So we can write here available options of 0. Same thing we can write available options of 0. Here we can type available options of 1. Available options of 1 and here available options of 2. Available options of 2. And in the button, when we have the label, which is like the button label, this text, we can add total. So like we have total cure and total this. Now this total doesn't look good. So we change this total to confirm. Now as soon as I'll change in here and I'll rebuild the app, we can see the total confirm, total cure and total death. Now on click of this, the data should get changed. So if I click on the confirm, no data available. If I click on the cured, value is like cured again, correct? So cured is good. If I click on here, death, the deaths are also good. But if I click on a confirm, it doesn't work. Reason? There is a problem with our switch case. Here we should have written available options of 0. Here it says the expression must be constant. So now what I can do here, because this part should be a constant. Can I write like this way? It still doesn't work.
Or we can use final.
Huh?
Can we use final?
Let's try final. It still doesn't work. I want to remove this magic string so that we have the complete visibility that if I change anything, it will be changed over here as well. So what is the best way?
Sir, can we use enum?
Enum, let's try. Can you just help me to implement this?
Sure, sir.
Yeah, enum.
Then curly, give some name, sir.
Okay, options.
Then curly braces.
Like this.
Yes. And sir, just write all the available options. Yes, like that.
Like this. Enum string.
Yes.
Or so what I'll type?
Only
Enum.
We don't have to write.
Okay.
Subsequent numbers.
Okay, so this is done, but
Yes.
why
So
this enum is actually throwing an error? Because the enum can't be declared inside the class. It should be outside the class.
Okay.
But still it is throwing an error. Unexpected. Try removing this. Okay, we have removed this. Now what? What's the next thing?
Sir, in switch case, we have to write like options.confirm, options.cured, and options.get.
Okay, so options dot confirmed, but again it's throwing an error. The switch case expression type option must be a subtype of a switch expression string. We require
Inside
string,
switch, sir. Yes.
but we don't have
In
that.
switch, we have.
Sir, the earlier option, we can convert that to dot string option.
Like
Sir,
how?
in switch,
List.
we are passing a string.
List
In
of
switch,
0.
List over here you are asking me to do it?
Yes, sir. Available option.
Okay, available options of 0.
And we can convert that to dot string. Because sir, we are giving selected option as string.
Like this. But it is already string. The problem is switch case, the case required a constant. This is not a constant. This is a variable. Okay, so Darshak sir, you were saying something for the enum?
yeah, actually, for cases, we have used enum, but in switch bracket thing, there it is still a string. Selected options.
So how we can solve this?
Sir, while passing the value from buttons, we should pass in numeric value instead of string.
Okay, so you are saying that here this on press method should have integer. And this total, this button label, this on press should be an integer.
Yes.
So
but that still might not be able to solve the const error. Ideally.
So what's the best way? Okay, there is a one quick hint which I guess you or maybe the other faculty member just shared, which is like converting into the string constant. So that this is actually the right way to converting this thing into the string constant. Like, so ideally this is how it used to done. We can create another folder called called utils. Here we can have another file called constants.dart, and here we have const string option confirmed equal to confirm. Same thing for option cured, option death. Here we have cured, here we have death. And now rather than using the string, here we can use option confirmed, option cured, option death. Now we have this. So here we can do is option confirmed. Option cured. Option death. And the similar thing, as soon as we pass here, rather than available option the 0, 1, 2. So we are passing the similar thing, and whatever thing that we are getting here in the label, we are returning back to the stuff. Let's just run again. And let's see whether it works or not. So this is confirmed. This is cured. This is death. Right? So now if there will be any change, I don't have to worry. And now here in selected option as well, I can pass as a default is like option confirmed. Now the benefit of doing this kind of thing is something got changed, I just need to make a single change and my code will never get break. Just like, earlier it just got broke. So that's why, like, this cons, final keyword, these are the basic practice that we can follow. Now here we can see it's a bit difficult, even though we are on the same screen, and managing the whole thing, like, like coming back, going back, set state and everything is actually a bit difficult to understand, because like clicking on it, we are going there and coming. So what exactly is the best part of here, and why the state management required? First, let me just add one more label here so that we have a basic understanding, like center child text selected option. Showing data of and the style text style okay. Okay, so this looks a bit better now. Now the state management technique are used to first to extract the main logic layer from the UI layer, and also to manage the data in such a way that if we want to mutate those data from more than one places, we can do it very easily. So here we can see that the whole business logic is somewhere in the UI. It shouldn't be like this. It should have, somewhere in the other file, and then we could have done it in a proper way. So now today we have two different ways we will do it. One is a provider and second is the MobX. The one and the third was the block that you have already learned. So how these all three are different from each other? So in the block, just to revisit the stuff, block has clear-cut visibility, like what will be your current state, how your state will get changed, and how it will reach to the another state, and with the help of which data. If I want to convert this whole app right now that we have written here into the block. So in block, we might have block implementation. In block, we have states. And then we have events. And then we have the main business logic, which call a block itself. So let's just see how this screen, if we want to implement using the block, I'm not going to write the code, but I'm just giving you an idea that how the different state management technique will, help you to achieve the same thing, and which one is good and which one is bad, that you can decide according to your use cases. So here as soon as the app gets started, before the app is getting started, our app will be in like, an initial state. In initial state, we have the blank screen, or we can say we can have a loader. As soon as the app will get changed, let me just write it in such a way. So first app will start, show loader, then call API. While we are calling API show loader, fetching data, fetch the data and convert it to the respective Podo, and show the data. This is what this currently is happening. Then the next is click on a button. Click on a button, filter the data according to the selection, show the filtered data, filtered data. So this is what right now happening on the screen. Now here we can see what are the some triggers. So trigger becomes my actions. So here my first trigger is call API. This can be an event, so we can get fetch data event, then filter data event,
Show data.
okay, we can have the show data as well. So we have this show data event. Now do we require the another event show filter data, or the show data event will work?
No, it will work.
Okay, so let's try with the show data event. So these are the events which will get fired. Now when this particular event will get fired, what will be the state of a particular app? There is a one more event that we missed, which is like the initial is the state. So what are the states now? So we have initial state,
Loading state.
Now this show loader will again a loading state, or like fetching data state?
No, it will be of different state. Like it's inside fetching state.
So it, as you're saying, is can be a fetching state. And the later part, the fetching data, is again a fetching state. So the state is same. Now the fetch the data and convert it to the respective Podo. Will it be again in the fetching state or in some other state?
Maybe in the same state.
Okay, maybe. Anyone have any other opinion? And once you show the data, then what state will be the app will be in? It will be in the
Ideal state.
ideal or fetch ideal
Fetching.
state? Like fetch ideal state, because ideal state is something called initial state maybe. Now click on a button. We will again call the filter data event. Will it will change the state or not? So here, once you click on filter data event, it will be in the filtering data state, and once it will be available, I mean the show data event will get fired, we will be having
Fetch idle state.
filtered idle state, because now we got the filtered data. But throughout the app, we already have a one filter applied by default. So we can change this filter idle state to the fetch idle state. So these are some states and events that we need to write if we want to convert this application using the block. So block has the complete visibility that if you find any error, any bug, you can know that right now in which state my app is. You can go to particular piece of code in your block and you can see what mistake that you have did. So that's the benefit. But the cons of Qubit or like the block using it is like we have to write a lot of unnecessary code. Like we can see this here in the state management file that yesterday you have written this events, you have written this states, and then the block. Just to get a simple thing, you have created 3 different files and then you have implemented your login page according to this. So for me, it is unnecessary. I personally believe this thing, E is equal to MC square. MC square. Do you know what is this equation is? Can anyone help?
Model and controller.
No. What is this E is equal to MC square? So if there is more code, there will be more errors. But there will be less code, there will be less error. If you don't write code, there won't be any error at all. So the thing is, try to reduce the number of line of code, the number of line of complexity, so that you have a less bug, less problems. So that's why I personally don't like blog as much, but if it is requirement, then I will going to use it, but I prefer to avoid it. But this is the industry standard, you can use it, but we have the multiple ways. And just because of this, equation, so I probably, don't like to use the blog. So that's why I asked Vivek to cover this. So let's back to our example. So in our example, we haven't used any technique till now, but the problem is our UI layer and our business logic layer is still combined into our widget. So to get rid of it, let's just introduce a provider. A provider. Let me just help you what exactly the provider is, and let's go to its official documentation. Provider Flutter. So we have a Flutter provider. So this is just a wrapper on the inherited widget. The inherited widget we talked in the first or second session, I guess, where we have used .off context for the scaffold. Scaffold messenger, I guess. Snake bar. Yes. So here we have used this, the scaffold messenger of context. So this is actually getting the context of your parent widget. So because here we want something from the parent into the child. So in our case, what we require, our parent widget is our API demo. Our child widget is this label. And here I want to access which variable? I want to access this variable. This selected option. Kidhar gaya? This one. I want to access of this selected option, so that when I press a button, the value will get changed. Here we have done some hack. We are actually getting back this value in the UI layer using this. But what if I can directly access this variable selected option inside here? For that, we have some technique called this, which is like the provider here. Now we will use this and we will create some magic here. So in provider, we have a dedicated class, and that class is actually responsible to manage the whole logic. Let's see how. But before that, we have to integrate the provider. So I'll simply copy this. We'll go to here in the installing. It says copy this, run flutter pub-get, and then do it. Okay. So I have copied this. I'll go to pub-spec spec.yml. I'll go to here in our dependency, enter one more line provider, and we'll do flutter pub-get. So my flutter pub-get is running. I got this. I will rerun the application because we have integrated a new package. Let's wait for it. So we got it. Now we want to remove this, all this unnecessary logic and all error and everything into our another file. So in API demo, I'll create another folder called maybe provider just for now. And here we will write new file called let's say data provider maybe. Okay, let's just do it like as a data provider .dart. Here I'll create a new class called my data provider. Here the magic happens with the change notifier. Now what this change notifier do? Here I want to replicate the change that happened at the particular site. So there is one variable which we are going to use, that is getting changed, which is the selected option here. Here I'll import this. Also, we want to change the whole application with the data, like whatever the API that we are calling, it should come from the data provider only. So we can have the variables like this variable that we have used earlier in the API demo. We have this summary and regional. So we'll copy this as well. Here, summary and regional. I'll simply import it. We got summary and regional, and then we have a method called fetch data, like this method that we are. Hold on, let me just rearrange this stuff. Okay, so we have this fetch data method, this one. So what we'll do, we'll simply copy this whole method and we'll put it into my data provider class. Here you can see the fetch data is again a one variable that we are using here. So I'll simply copy that as well. The fetch data, fetching data. So I'm calling fetching data here. But now as it is, this is not a widget, so we don't require state. So I'm just simply removing this state stuff. We require JSON decode. So I imported. HTTP also we need. So I'll simply copy this and import it here. We got HTTP. Now we got this. But how I can pass this data to my earlier file? I mean here. How I can do that? Because now I'm removing this method. I have deleted this method. And also this fetch data. Now we don't have anything here. Now what we can do? So as soon as we want to do something to refresh the UI, if I want to refresh the UI, I need a set state. But in the provider, we can use a method called notify listener. So here I'll call notify listener because I'm changing a particular state, fetching data from false to true. Once it has been done, I'm again doing this thing true. But I will do this below this line because once this data has been set, I will call, hey, the fetching data is equal to false. So just go, data is fetched, and now use this data. So this is the one thing. Let's try to implement this first in our app, and then we will add this thing as well using the provider. Now this provider, it's again, we haven't used the code of a provider at all. See, we are not using anything here is the provider. This is just the pure class that we have used. We have created another class. If I remove from PubSpec, sorry, PubSpec, if I remove this provider, still the class that we have created, it will work. This still work. But now this variable we want to pass to back to the users. So I need a getter method like get summary like this. And this is a small notation which we can use. And the same thing I can do with the regional, like get regional. You might have seen that, in my code editor, I can see a lot of suggestion like ready-made suggestion. If I want to do something here like call API, you can see the whole code is getting, shown. Do you know how this is happening? Hello?
Sir, Emmet.
No, this is actually a one new tool which is called GitHub Copilot. This is AI based code suggestion tool. So, but I'll not suggest you to use it because right now you're in a learning phase. So I'll simply disable it from my thing because see, because this is actually, show everything like, if I write like verify password, it will give me the whole code. See, like I can type anything and it will give me the code. Like Fibonacci, it will give me the whole code of Fibonacci. So this is the GitHub Copilot. This is just a tip that you can use. This is GitHub, GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot. You can go and learn about it. What exactly is? It's your AI pair programming, artificial intelligence tool developed by the GitHub and OpenAI. So I have actually installed this extension as well. You can see the GitHub Copilot, and I have enabled it. Let me just disable it now, so that you guys don't get confused that why this much of code is being written automatically. So now we got the method as well. The reason is we have made this variable as a private variable. So to access this variable using the class object, we have a getter method. So now we got it. Now we want to use this method from the outside, from here. And now here the provider will come into the picture. So we will add the provider here again. Hold on, I guess I removed this. So I'll copy, paste. we got this. Let's just put it on run. Meanwhile, we'll write the code. Now, as we got now provider, so the role of a provider is first to create an object of it. So we have a scaffold widget here. And now we need a provider object here. So we will do is we will simply wrap it with the provider, or any idea? Like anyone have tried to look into this provider and the stuff? Or like this is the first time that we are seeing it?
Yes, sir, for the first time.
This is the first time? Okay, I thought that, you know, some might have got some motivation to do this. Okay, no problem. So for that, we need to have a one object. Like before that also we can do like by this. Let's just not do by the provider, and let's just get it without the provider, for example. So what I'll do, can I create like data provider is equal to new data provider, and data provider dot fetch data. I can do this, right? But when this particular variable, this fetching data, okay, let me just convert it to the private as well, and then we'll get fetching data equal to fetching data. Perfect. So this looks some better implementation. Okay, now I want to change the UI based on this data is getting changed, this fetching data or this summary or this regional and the stuff. How I can do this? And here, just by doing this will not make any sense. That's the reason we need a provider. So provider is actually a kind of dependency injection tool and it helps us to do the state management. So we will wrap our whole application, this like our application, with a one widget. And that widget name is change notifier provider. Change notifier provider. Because here what we are doing is we are actually getting those notifications when any change will happen. And here we'll specify the type, which is the data provider. Here it has a builder method, and this builder method actually have these two parameters called context and a child. To create an object, it has a method called create, where again it has a context, and here we will create this object is the data provider. So now we don't need here. Now finally, what this widget change notifier provider will do. This change notifier provider will create an object of a data provider, and it will provide a singleton object of this data provider inside this widget tree. So whatever happening inside this change notifier, which is like, from the scaffold, we will get the reference of this class. And now to utilize the value of this particular class, we can have the two ways. One, if we want to change the widget based on the value, we have a widget called consumer. And if we want to do something which is not related to the directly widget, but we want to change the variable value, then we have the another method, which is called the notification provider. Let's just go with first the consumer way. So rather than fetching data, we will wrap it with the consumer, wrap a widget with the consumer. Here the consumer will be of a data provider because we can have a multiple provider. And here we have its builder method. This builder method can have this much of value. And here we have this value is actually a data provider object. We can see the data provider. So I'll simply change the name of the data provider so we don't have any confusion. Now data provider dot fetching data. So if I run this, you can see a loader. Why this nothing happening here? Any idea? Can someone help me why this is not working? Hello. Are we missing something?
Sir, from the response that we get from get method or something, have we mapped it to this provider?
That we will do, but first this the loader should get, you know, like run now. Like right now we are not getting a loader itself. We will go to the data one by one. Like the first thing is we want to access this fetching data. So let's just see whether this method is getting called or not. Oh, I see. We are not calling this method at all at the fetch data. And that's the actual problem. So now what we will do? Now we are not able to call this data again. ये तो problem हो गया. So now what is the solution? Any idea how we can call this method?
Sir, set state wouldn't work. Set state.
But set state, but actually we want to call this method fetch data. How we will call this method and where we will call this?
Sir, can we create its object of data provider and then call the method?
Correct. So we actually need to do the same thing that has been told. So see, as I mentioned, there are two ways we can use this member variables. One is the consumer way. In the consumer way, we are accessing this fetching data, but now we want to access this fetch data also, this member method. So how we can do? We can actually get the same object of using provider dot of provider dot of context, and this provider will be the data provider, and here, so this become an object. So this will return a particular object. Here I will directly use the fetch data. Let's see what happens. Now we got an error. It says provide a data provider above this API demo widget. This happens because you use a build context that does not include a provider. So we are actually injecting our provider object from here in the build method, and we are using that object in the init state. Now, as we know, the init state is get executed first, and then the build method is getting executed. So what we can do, we can actually remove this, like its parent widget. So API demo's parent widget is our main method, this. So we can actually write this code, this code, change notifier provider here. So we will wrap this API demo class actually with the widget and the widget name is change notify provider. Here we will add data provider. Here we will be having a builder method. Sorry, is this the same way we are doing it? Yes. Perfect. And builder. So we will be having a builder. I guess I'm doing something incorrectly. Hold on. Home, change notifier provider, create. In the create, we will have a context, and here we will create a data provider object. Perfect. Here we will be having a builder, and builder have API demo. Okay, so here it requires a const. Sorry. Now we got this. And also we can remove this implementation. So we don't have the remove thing. So we have to remove it manually. Okay, so we removed it, and let's see whether it works or not. We have to restart the app. And let's see what happens. Do you think it will work? Still not working. Let's try to do it from here. Now it is working. Do you know what was actually the problem? Anyone got the idea why it was not working earlier and why it started working now? When I set it in the init state, it wasn't working, and I simply put it into the builder, it started working. Any guesses? Because we need a context and the context of our provider. So our provider is right now in the main here. So it is actually getting the context of it, and then it will initialize this object, and then from the object we are getting the data. And that's how it has been worked here. Let's just change it, this implementation, to make it more a bit simple. Let's put one thing here in the column. Elevated button. And here we will add a button called fetch data. And on clicking on it, we will call the API const, and on clicking of it, we'll call the API. What is happening here? Hold on. I guess I'm doing something incorrectly. Okay, so we got the data. Okay, so it is fetching the data, and let's see what is happening inside the fetch. And here, so the data right now, my fetching data variable is false. It is getting true. It says notify listeners. Then the API response is coming. Okay, we got the data print on the terminal. Perfect. We are getting the API response summary. Yes, here. And the fetching data should get false. It's a true, and now it should get false. And our consumer should get hit. But our consumer is not getting hit again. So what we can do here, as we have created an object of it, we can do here like this: data provider equal to this data provider dot fetch data. And we can remove this implementation from here, because now we are not calling from the init state. We will go here, sorry, in this scaffold. I guess I am doing something incorrectly. Please pardon me. Looks like there is some changes in provider APIs. It's not working the way it should be working earlier, because it is not throwing me this fetching again. Don't know why. Hold on. Okay, so here is the issue. We are changing the data, but we are not calling the notify listener. So it is there only, but it's my mistake. Sorry. Yes, now it should work. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Sorry for my misunderstanding. We'll wrap it up soon now because we are almost done. So here in the app bar, I'll take one action. In app bar, I'll take one action icon button. And on press of this, we'll call the data. So just to make your life easier, icon button, icons dot refresh. Okay, we got the refresh button, and we'll simply call this API from here. Okay. So initially everything is, there is no data, and we don't have any data. Perfect. The data will come. Now from where the summary will come, it will actually crash the app, and it should crash the app because now it will become a false. So by default it's false. So we have this kind of data. Now if I click on it, refresh, what happened? Okay, so yeah. So was this listen equal to false? That I also need to check. Let's just check what exactly is this. So listen equal to false. If listen is true, later value changes will trigger a new state.build to widget. And state dot did not dependency for state widget. Listen false is necessary to be able to call provider or off inside the state of the create method of provider. Okay. So earlier what happening, if I don't pass this listen equal to false, it will actually rebuild the whole application from the builder method from where it is being provided, which is like this. So this builder method will get called, which we don't want. So we just told him that, hey, you don't need to do this. You need to create listen is equal to false. And whenever the consumer or any variable will get changed like this using the notifier, then only you can rebuild the stuff, but don't rebuild the whole provider. And that's why we have put listen equal to false. So when I used the provider earlier, this kind of API was not there. This has been updated. So sorry from my end that I didn't do the proper homework. I thought it is the same, but it has now been updated. So now as we see that as soon as I click on this button, it will actually call this method. It calls this method fetching data. Now it calls the notify listeners. So it notify listener. Here we have consumer, which is listening to that event. So that's why we got this circular progress indicator. And as soon as we got the data, we have again notify listener, which works almost similar like a state. So it's notify to whomsoever is listening to, and then it will rebuild the stuff. So the data is getting rebuilt. Now what we want is we need this summary data from the provider. So we can have this summary data. So we have this variable, we'll simply delete it because now we all have this data inside the provider. So we'll get the error and we will write this like data provider dot summary, data provider dot summary, data provider dot summary, data provider dot regional, data provider dot regional, and data provider dot regional. And we got the data because now we are getting this data from the API. So let's just see this. So we got this, we got the data. Now on click of this, we want to change the data, but not by this, from this here. So again, what we can do, we can have another method called filter the data. So void filter data. And from filter data, we will be having string value. Here on a button click, what is happening on a label widget? We have this get cool widget. And on press of this, we are doing this, but now we have the provider dot off context dot, because we haven't passed here the data provider, and here we will have filter data. In filter data, we'll pass the button label. Simple. And whatever the method that we are doing here, so now we don't want this on pressed, on press, or on press here, selected option. So we'll simply remove this on press from here, on press from here, and on press from here. Because now we have the selected variable inside here. So as soon as we click on a button in the provider, we have a variable called selected options. So we go inside here we have selected option. Oh, we already have the selected option here. So as soon as we do it, we change the value of selected options equal to value. And then we have this thing called get numbers according to the selection. And now we have a selection from the inside, not from here. We have the selection from showing the data from provider, like data provider dot selected option and data provider dot selected option. If I rebuild it, we can have, see, but still the data is not getting changed. The reason is, oh, we again miss this part, which is called listen equal to false. Listen equal to false. And refresh, cured, death, still not working. And the reason is we again miss the notify listener part. We rebuild it, we'll fetch the data, cured, death, total confirmed, cured, death. So whatever our main business logic was to, mutate the data. So we can actually again like change this variable to the private variable. And we can put as in the again get method, get selected options. So that there won't be any confusion, that nobody can access it from the outside, and we have only get method. And to set the data, we only have these two methods. So that's how like a code might look a bit better. Now we don't have unnecessary stuff here or here, and we have pure UI logic here only. So here you can see we have pure UI logic. I can actually simply, as this is the constant, we can remove this and we'll put it into the constant file like here. We'll have static, which is a constant, and then we can remove this from here. Yes, so that's how we can utilize it. And I guess now we do not require that as well. This thing, so we don't need this, or we can directly have not 0, 1, 2, but directly have this option confirmed rather than array. Option cured and option death. So if you go to this code, so we have like something very informative and very updated. Also, there is a one more thing, which is most important thing in this whole code, which is like converting your stateful class to stateless class. So we can actually do this because now everything is done inside, we don't have any local state here. So we can actually convert this API demo from stateful to stateless. Let me just do that for you. I'll simply do here again a stateless class, stateless API demo, and here in the return, I'll simply return this file because now everything is managed by the provider. So I'll simply cut this code and paste it here. Now there is just one method that everyone are looking for is this, which is the UI helper method that will put inside what here, and we will remove this, the stateful class and state class. Now we'll build the app again. Total cure, total death, total confirm. That's it. And if still we don't want to, do this on a press of a button, we can do it in a builder method. Like this, we got the data cured on this, and we can remove this button as well. So our earlier code that we have integrated using the set state and the normal standard way, we have implemented using the provider. So in the provider, as soon as our builder method will get executed, first time we'll fetch the data. Now, whenever the next time data will get updated, our builder method will not get called. Actually the consumer will getting called in the builder, and then according to this, our data has been changed. So this is also, you can actually convert your stateful to the stateless widget using this different variety of code. I hope this makes some sense to you and help you to understand why the state management is required and how the different techniques we can use. I'm done from my side for this session. Let me know if you have any questions. Are everyone here or like went for a lunch?
No, participants, if you have any question, you may ask.
Here.
Okay. Okay, so looks like nobody has any questions or any doubt. If you want, I can like revisit the code again just for once. But now we have the label widget, which is like pure widget, and we are just calling this method using just one line of code. So we are no passing anything or nothing, because now we have the provider access from the parent widget. If you want to see the widget tree, you can see we have just the parent called change notify provider, which actually giving us then object of a provider. And that's why we are able to like from the consumer, we can have this object of a provider. And that became our particular this object, this data provider object that we have created here. This became a singleton object. That's why whatever thing happening inside this, it becomes the singleton. That's why from the multiple widgets, we are able to access the same data. Like because we are setting the data from this screen, we are setting the value of from another widget of this. And this became a singleton just because of using the provider. So that's how the provider help us to manage the state. In the next session, we will use the same app, but we will using the Mobex as the state management technique. So I'll simply copy the whole code in the another folder, this API demo. I'll simply copy this API demo into the another folder, API demo _ Mobex, and then we will start again with the Mobex. Now everyone have a complete visibility what is state management. So we will only discuss what is Mobex and how it is different from the block and the provider. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Okay, sir. So can we conclude the session here?
Sure, I'm done from my end.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.